Hello. In this example, we want to try and use A, B, and C to figure out what is f plus g of 4, f minus g of 4, negative 2, f times g of 1, and f divided by g of 0. A, B, and C are simply different depictions of the same thing. So I'm going to start with f plus g of 4. Well, f plus g of 4 means f of 4 plus g of 4. Now, if I look at A, the blue line here is f of x, and the red curve here is g of x. So if I start at 4, I can go up on 4 up to the g value here, the f value here. Then I have to go back to the y-axis, and that tells me what f of 4 is. So f of 4 is 9. Plus g of 4. I already crossed g right here, so if I go back on the y-axis and I look and I see that that is the number 2. So 9 plus 2 gives me 11. That tells me that f plus g of 4 is 11. Now let's go to f minus g of negative 2. Well, this means f of negative 2 minus g of negative 2. That means I go to the x value being negative 2 and I go down to the f function and then back to the y-axis, and that is negative 3. So that's negative 3 minus, because there's a minus sign there, and then g of negative 2. Well, I would go up or down until I see the red function, but the problem is that it stops right there. This negative 2 is not part of the domain for the g function. That means that negative 3 minus g of negative 2, well, g of negative 2 is undefined at negative 2. Therefore, this entire f minus g of negative 2 is also undefined because it's not part of the domain of f and g at the same time. Now let's look at f times g of 1. Well, that means f of 1 times g of 1. And again, I go to 1, and then I go up until I see the f function, and then I go back. And that is 3 times g of 1. I hit it right there and I go back. That is 1. So that gives me 3 times 1, which is 3. And then let's do f divided by g of 0. Well, that's f of 0 divided by g of 0. Well, start at 0 and I go up to my f function and it crosses right there at 1. So that means that it's 1 divided by g of 0, and g of 0 is defined, but it's 0. So here I'm actually dividing by 0. That's why f divided by g of 0 is undefined. Now that was for A. B and C, however, will be the exact same thing. Notice that I have f of 4 plus g of 4. Here, these are values, these are my x values, and this column is the f of x, and this column is the g of x. So, f of 4, which means I start at 4 and I go to f, that's 9. And then g of 4, start at 4 and then I go to the g column, that's 2. So 9 plus 2 is 11. Same thing here, f of negative 2 is negative 3 minus g of negative 2 is undefined. Therefore, this entire function is undefined. F times g of 1, well, f of 1 is 3 times g of 1, which is 1. So 3 times 1 is 3. And then f divided by g of 0. Here's 0, the f value is 1. Here's 0, the g value is 0. So it's 1 divided by 0, which is undefined. And the same thing will happen with c, it's just that it's the function actually. And that's all.